o'clock. It's time to rock. Welcome to a midweek show here, folks, on the channel. Like a lot of these midweek shows I have scheduled, they get postponed for a lot of reasons. But this show should have happened about a week ago, over a week. So I look forward to presenting it for you. I'm not sure if we're going to have anyone here jumping in live, but we'll continue anyway. And if you are watching on a replay, as ever, we thank you for subscribing to our channel, watching our shows, watching our shorts, and participating on the community page we have here, where we post posts regularly on the channel, and there's some great conversations going on there, so I urge you, if you haven't already, to check that out, to please check it out. Thanks to Jim for jumping on and filling in for Brad a couple of days ago when we did the rankings of the tracks. We hadn't done a ranking on the channel for a while, so that was pretty groovy to get into the groove of doing that. Brad will be back with the Rock Professor and I on Sunday, New Zealand time, doing part 2 of the Black Crowes Jimmy Page live at the Greek gig. So we look forward to that. Yeah, I think that's about all the news I've got. Jack Bruce, there's a re-release of a Jack Bruce album. And I've been watching some tributes to Mick Ralph over the last couple of days too. So there's some cool videos on YouTube from established musicians and people in the industry to ordinary fans like us, taking some time talking about Mick and his contribution to music. So anyway, let's get to the topic of this show, film review, just a quick chat about films that I think might be interesting for you if you haven't already checked out, to go and check out. And if you have, let us know your opinions on them. This is the second one. I'll link somewhere on here the first one that I did, Cadillac Records, that film, I think a couple of weeks ago. And if you've got some suggestions on some cool musical biographical films or documentaries, let us know and we can schedule them. So the first film I want to talk about is, hold on, let me get some pictures somewhere. Now I think if I do this, I can go like that. Yes. So that's the film there. Ralph Macchio, Joe Seneca, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, and Jamie Gertz, Crossroads, came out in 1986. It was a pretty cool film. I remember a few friends and I going to the movies to check this out because we had heard in the grapevine back then that it was worth the time. A few of us around this time had discovered the blues, and the great thing about this film is that it fed into that discovery that we had at the time. I don't want to give away too much if you haven't seen it. Hey Helene, good to see you. if you haven't seen the film, I'm not going to give away too much, but it's a great story. It's a jailbreak. Ralph and the guy that acts as Willie Brown, they become hobos. There's Robert Johnson in there as well. The Ralph Miacho character is a blues fanatic. He's got all these blues albums. He's studying classical guitar. The character is studying classical guitar at Juilliard's or something like that. And he's playing some classical pieces, but his heart's in the blues. And they capture that really well in the film, I thought. They captured that angst that he had. The production's pretty good as well for the film, for the era. I think they got a lot of that right. The music's fantastic, if you're not aware of it. Oh, gosh. I should have had some notes. I'm just relying on my memory. Let's have a look here. Let's get it up. Let's go to it and do it properly. Here we go. Ry Cooder. Ry Cooder is responsible for the music. And interestingly enough, Alan Roth, a great guitar player, especially a slide player, he taught Ralph how to play slide. And according to Mr. Wikipedia, they would work up to 2 hours a day. But Ralph was sort of caught between a rock and a hard place, because while he was doing this film and preparing and practicing guitar for this film, he was also having to split and cruise off with a karate instructor to prepare for Karate Kid 2. And there was some hope that he was going to play guitar on screen, but realized pretty quickly that wasn't going to happen. Another really interesting thing about this film, from my perspective, and a couple of other friends at the time too, while there was a heavy emphasis on this idea of the blues music and searching for the lost Robert Johnson song, and the conversation around him selling his soul at the Crossroads. This is a famous still from the film. So all that's included. It's all pretty good. But what's really cool about this film is this guy here, Jack Butler, played by Steve Vai. Now, Steve Vai is not the devil. He's already sold his soul. But they have a duel in this hall nightclub venue between the Ralph character and Steve Vai. That's pretty good. And in 1986, this guy, he's one of the hottest guitar players on the planet. He was in the David Lee Roth band. So I had a few friends that went specifically just to see what he was doing. and over the years became blues fans because of them being exposed to the music and blues from this film. Here's another still. That's a cool story, worth checking out. Here's another still here. This is where he's just bought his electric guitar from a pawn shop, plain slide. Notice the pig nose amp on the set of drawers, so that's all correct. Portable amp. Here's another cool still from the film. This is when they're on the road. This is when Ralph has still got his acoustic guitar. He's playing acoustic blues. And then makes the transition while he's on the road from acoustic to electric. Pretty cool story. And this is a famous poster from it as well. So I recommend, if you haven't seen it and you like music themed films, check it out. It links back. There's a lot of key points for blues fans. Ralph's character's pretty cool. The music is fantastic, as Helene has said. Music is brilliant. It's great, and she said it's a great film too. Everyone has seen this film, surely. Well, I hope so. It's one of the things that I want to do with this little segment here on the channel is, talk about maybe some of these films that have been bypassed or just haven't traveled time well because, there's lots of other things that people are doing. Now, the reason why I picked this film is because it was a conversation I had with a friend of mine. We were talking about music films, and Cadillac Records came into the conversation, and this film. And Ralph at the time was a pretty cool character. Karate Kid had been out for a couple of years, and as I said, he was working on Karate Kid 2. Steve Vai, one of the hottest guitar players in the world, was acting in it. And there's love between the Ralph character and Jamie Gertz in there as well. So there's a bit of a love story. So Helene's saying I may just watch it again on Netflix. Well, yeah, I recommend it. I saw it a couple of weeks ago again. I try and watch it every couple of years. If you want to get a good feeling for what these early blues guys were doing from a film perspective, this film does it. It's pretty good. Let me know what you think, your thoughts are on this film. If you recommend it, and, don't be frightened to say that you don't like it. Just want to remind you too, folks, that we'll be back on Sunday with Brad and the Rock Professor. If you haven't also looked on our main page here, I've got another film scheduled to talk about in a couple of weeks' time, Sinners, which looks really, really good. Go and check that out. See the trailer. It's a horror kind of film, but it's based on two brothers who set up a jute joint, and they're playing blues music, etc. And then they have an issue with evil forces. But from what I've seen, it looks pretty cool. So I'm going to watch that. And then jump on and share with you guys my thoughts. Like I say, it looks pretty cool. All right, folks, thanks for watching. I want to remind you again, if you've got to the 17-minute mark here and you haven't already subscribed to our channel, please do. I subscribe to every channel, everybody who subscribes to us. So if you're building your channel, we'll subscribe back. It's the least we can do. And if you've got anything that you want to talk about on our channel, any projects that you're working on that you would like us to talk about, or come on to talk about, get in touch with me, Brad, or the Rock Professor. Here's some Instagram accounts there that you can find us on. Brad Cook Music, easy. Simon Williams, the Rock Professor. Simon Williams 33. Our good friend John 351 Music. ZD 351 Music. And also another good friend of ours, an Australian guitar player based in Melbourne, Zach Zedris. There's his address or his account there. Go and check him out. And if you haven't already, please go and check out our merch store. We do get a little bit of money on the channel for any t-shirts or mugs we sell. So if you think that's something you might be interested in, go and check it out. Otherwise, I'm going to wish you well. Thanks for supporting us. And I'll see you here in a couple of days' time. Thank you.